can you make a design argument using biology? Of course you can. Now, how does this idea that you can make a design argument using biology fit in with the previous content on this channel, which is that intelligent design as a scientific theory is not valid? Okay, so here's the difference. Intelligent design is it's supposed to be a scientific theory to basically propose it as an alternative to Darwinian evolution. So that's what it claims to be, and that's why I was challenging that it's not science, because of methodological naturalism and a few other issues. But can you use the design argument? Yes, you can. But what you're doing is, when you're using the design argument, you're not using intelligent design as a scientific theory, which has a whole host of issues which I covered previously. You are basically using a philosophical argument of design. So from that perspective, you can have design. So you can look at any particular organism, any particular part of an organism, and say, look, there's clear indication of design here, there's clear indication of intentionality here, there's clear indication of purpose here, and so on and so forth. So you can actually have a biologically based design argument in the same way you can have a cosmologically based sort of argument as well. There's nothing actually wrong with doing that. And the powerful thing about using a philosophically based design argument is it doesn't matter whether someone subscribes to Darwinian evolution, Lamarckian evolution, whether this subscribe to tree of life or bush of life, or they accept human chimpanzee ancestry or they don't. It becomes totally irrelevant from a design perspective. Even if somebody happens to believe that Darwinian evolution is like the only model out there and it's like as close to truth as it can be, the design argument would still actually be valid. What's powerful about this is, from the time of Darwin till today, we have evolutionary academics who are actually not biased, not militant atheists, but although they may be secular themselves, and they would agree that even if they don't believe in God, they do understand that you can actually have a design argument based on the current understanding of evolutionary biology. Now, Scott Todd, he's an evolutionary biologist, and he explains it in this particular way. He says, look, even if all the data points to an intelligent designer, such a hypothesis is excluded from science because it's not naturalistic. So that's the first part of what he's saying. So that makes sense from the perspective of methodological naturalism, that whatever the data says, then they can't invoke something supernatural. However, he goes on to say that the scientist as an individual can embrace a reality that's beyond naturalism. And that's precisely the point, that you can be somebody who accepts it as a valid model, you accept methodological naturalism, but outside of that, you do actually believe there's a creator behind all of this. So I hope in this video you've understood you can actually have a very powerful, cogent, coherent design argument without intelligent design as a scientific theory.